Different. We got on the wrong one.
We just got in the wrong grab, just jumped in. I think he's just a regular guy.
Thought that was a Kia. What is this guy saying? He's like, what are you doing in my car?
Is he just a regular guy and we just jumped in? I think that's what might have happened.
Number that. Because. Yeah.
Ah, he went the wrong way.
He's lost. Our grab is lost.
All right. So we secured a little Luke and Paul special here. Probably the most dangerous streets we've driven in, and it's just the back streets of Hanoi is a little different. So yesterday, probably last video that you saw, we tried to go to the Ho Chi Minh Museum, and we didn't end up going in because it would have taken too long with our guide or whatever, or our driver. So today we're gonna go take our time and kind of look through it and see if we can find anything cool. And then maybe after that we'll go to the Vietnam War Museum, and it shouldn't be too far, so it should be a pretty decent day. So it's actually quite frightening. Nobody has the right of way. You'll look and you won't see any stop signs, no yields, nothing of that nature. You'll see some occasional red lights, traffic lights. That's about it.
50% of the people stop. The other 50% just honk and go.
People, yeah, they just honk and go. People will come out of the smallest nook and cranny with their bike and just squeeze through, and literally just come out of nowhere between two cars on the wrong side of the road going the wrong way. That's like 20% of it. And yeah, welcome to Hanoi. Okay, so bad news. The Ho Chi Minh Museum, I guess, is closed. Probably should have looked that up before we went to it, but that's just kind of classic.
Well, it's not the first time that's happened.
Yeah, I'm not too surprised. Anyways, we're gonna go to the Vietnam War Museum. I guess we looked it up. It says it's open. So if it's closed, it's not our fault. All right, so our buddy Paul here has he's decided he's Vietnamese. He has started to ignore stoplights. So
this guy's just cut me off.
It's a bold move, but we'll see if it works out for us.
I'm using the local technique. Just honk and go.
Just honk and go through the red light. It's the way to do it. Go off to the War Museum. All right, boys, check it out.
We made it.
Yeah, so we learned a little bit about the Vietnam War in Laos. We thought it might have been fitting to learn about the Vietnam War in Vietnam.
Probably do it in Vietnam.
So yeah, I guess there's gonna be some cool artifacts in here, and you see some old tanks right away, and old fighter jets, some artillery here. So yeah, get ready for a history lesson.
We had to pay a whole 40,000 dongs to bring the camera in, so you better enjoy it.
You better like this. There's Ho Chi Minh. Pretty badass crossbow here. Alright, so I think we actually expected more about like the American Vietnam War. Now we walk in, it's like kind of the whole history of Vietnamese warfare, which I guess is even probably cooler. And you got all these different weapons and all these stories. Leaders. Alright, so kind of the vibe. Well, the vibe you get in the States about the Vietnam War is just like such a sore spot in history, right? Like, I just don't really want to talk about it. Just like, oh, we learned from our mistakes and blah blah blah. We just don't want to do it again. I feel like in Vietnam, they're just like, the States are just another country trying to knock them down. Like, it's happened to Vietnam so much in the past. Like, we're talking about a country that had like US tried to invade them almost 30 times in their whole history, or not the US, China tried to invade them almost 30 times in their whole history. So it's like, they're just like, yeah, this is something we do. So I think that the Vietnamese people are kind of known as some really resilient folk. No, Japan came over here. I'm gonna tell Trump you guys have all these US stuff. But at the same time, like, you see what happened in North Korea, the Korean War, and like the States fought the communist North in the Korean War, and you look at South Korea compared to North Korea and what kind of happened up there. And it's hard to compare the two because it's obviously two different places, and Ho Chi Minh's not like the worst guy in the world, obviously. But like, you kind of see what the US maybe was trying to do in fighting communism, because some bad stuff happened, and usually some bad stuff happens with communism, but it's just kind of my 2 cents. Maybe if the US had won that war and they went full capitalist, like, what would Vietnam look like today? I don't know, but
Guess we'll never know, hey?
I guess we'll never know.